NBC Sports welcomes you to Homestead Miami Speedway in South Florida for the Ford 300, the season-ending race for the NASCAR Busch Series. Greg Biffle locked up the championship at Phoenix last Saturday, so it's a nothing-to-lose day. 43 drivers chasing one checkered flag. Weather threatens the area around the speedway, so the cars are already on the track getting ready to start. While you look at the starting lineup, remember last Saturday at Phoenix, Wally was racing and Michael Waltrip was in the booth? Well, Michael's racing today, Wally.
All right.
Why don't you hassle him a little bit?
Those three first. Michael Waltrip, Wally Dallenbach, do you have a copy?
Yeah, Wally, how's it going?
Okay, buddy, pretty good. Now, you qualified a whole lot better than I did, but you still have some cars to pass. How's your car?
Well, we were pleased with the Aaron's Dream Machine and Happy Hour. It ran really well. Bobby and the guys didn't change a thing, so our times look to be really good. Should be a good day for us. This is a great car. It's the car we ran second twice with and wrecked on the last lap. So it's really always been in contention. That's pretty cool.
Okay, just a word of advice. Remember, you've got a lot of cameras on you there, buddy, so be careful what you do inside that car.
10-4, that's good advice, because I pick my nose a lot.
That's why I said it. Good luck.
Michael Waltrip starting 14th today in pursuit of the NASCAR Busch Series victory. Alan Bestwick with Benny Parsons and Wally Dallenbach getting set to go here at Homestead. Huge field of cars tried to qualify for this race. You see all those who are unable to be in the field for today's race, including some pretty big names like Jeffrey Bodine.
Mike Wallace failed to qualify.
And now the field getting the one to go signal. They'll go racing next time by. Bring in our pit reporters and get some stories from down there before the green flag. Matt Yoakum, you're first.
Busch Series champion Greg Biffle can now do something he hasn't been able to do for 2 years. Race without having to worry about points. He's trying to close out his official Busch Series career with a victory here in Homestead. He hasn't won since IRP back in August. In fact, the last 6 races, he's finished everywhere from 2nd to 6th. He starts 18th today. To Marty Snyder.
Well, Matt, for the 5th time this year, Jeff Green will start the race from the pole. That's more #1 starts in this series than anybody. He said his car was not as good as he had hoped yesterday, but in the 7 previous Busch races here at Homestead, this race has never been won from the front row. He said the guy he's most worried about today is Scott Wimmer. Dave Burns?
Marty, the first time the Busch Series raced here, it was Joe Nemechek who was on the pole, and that day he finished 7th. Since then, he's won this race 3 times, but always on odd years, like last year, 2001. Never on an even year. Well, to help that, they picked the very same pit stall here today that they've had for all 3 of those wins. Joe starts 5th, hopes it works for him. Alan?
The big story of the weekend in NASCAR racing, the appeal filed by Roush Racing against their penalty that they received after the Rockingham race a couple of weeks ago. Bill Weber is following that story for us. We understand there's going to be a decision announced momentarily, and we'll bring that to you as quickly as we can. First, they're coming to the green flag. 200 laps, 300 miles today, and the championship's locked up. Nothing to lose. Go for the win.
Well, there's a lot to lose for some guys out there that don't have a job for next year, because they're auditioning right now, trying to find something for 2003.
Cloudy overcast day, rain is threatening. Will the event go its full distance? We'll find out. It's the final race of the NASCAR Busch Series season under green.
Wow, someone in back did not get a very good start at all.
There's going to be a lot of slip and a slide in these first couple laps. This place is slippery to begin with, but on the start, it's very, very slick. Was that Nemechek that looked like got a little bit sideways and somebody was right on his bumper?
That was him. Nemechek, the red car, second red car we saw go through the shot.
Jeff Green leads. Bobby Hamilton Jr. has slipped into 2nd. Brian Vickers back to 3rd. Then Casey Mears and Joe Nemechek. All right, they have released the decision of Roush Racing's appeal on their post-Rockingham fine. Bill Weber, bring us the story.
Alan, the commission heard the appeal this morning, first from Roush Racing and then NASCAR's side. Just moments ago, it was announced that the appeal was denied by the National Stock Car Racing Commission. It said the spring rule as written is clear. The spring from the number 6 car did not meet the requirements of the rule, that NASCAR acted fairly and consistently in issuing the penalties. It is therefore the unanimous decision of the commission to uphold the penalty assessed by NASCAR. The appellants do have the right to appeal this decision to the National Stock Car Racing Commissioner. So the process is not totally over at this point. I had a brief talk with Jack Roush this morning after he presented his side. He was not very optimistic. But again, the appeal by Roush Racing to recapture 25 driver points and 25 owner points in addition to a $5,000 fine has been denied. Back upstairs into the race.
All right, Bill, thanks. New leader Bobby Hamilton Jr. in that one final stage of appeal. Charles Strang is the name of the commissioner of NASCAR, and he could be appealed to for one final step if they so choose.
I don't think that they'll do that. It was unanimous today, not a split decision. I think we've heard the last of that.
So it'll be 89 points between Tony Stewart and Mark Martin going into tomorrow's race, pending any further appeal.
And Tony Stewart just wiped his brow.
Oh, yeah, because all of a sudden he's got 25 more points. Now, we haven't heard the last of it. 3 years from now, when something pops up, we'll talk about that, but as far as this year's is concerned.
All right, let's get into this race. The leader is Bobby Hamilton Jr. Took the lead from Jeff Green that last lap by you saw. Jeff is back to second, Brian Vickers third, and there's a change for fourth place between a couple of teammates.
Hank Parker Jr., 36 car, goes by Casey Mears.
Quickly runs up on Brian Vickers. Mears is now fifth. Behind him, Stacy Compton, Jason Keller, Joe Nemechek has slipped back to eighth. Then Johnny Sauter and Casey Kane rounding out the top 10. Greg Biffle runs 12th now. And Parker Jr., one of those guys, BP, you talked about guys needing a job for next year. Hank Parker Jr. just found out this week that his sponsor's not coming back next year and he needs a ride.
Well, there you go. So right now he's looking pretty good. He's auditioning well.
Wally, you've been in that situation. It's not comfortable.
And it amazes me how these guys wait so long to tell these guys that they don't have jobs or they don't have sponsors or, you know, I mean, it is tough to find something this late in the game because a lot of people's plans are already in place by now. And so he's got a tough road ahead of him.
You were in a situation that to the extreme. You found out you didn't have a ride when the season was opening.
Yeah, the week before Daytona. We're not going racing. Okay.
Yeah. So Parker Jr. up to third position now, seeking his third NASCAR Busch Series victory. Remember, he got a win at Pikes Peak earlier this summer in July that you saw here on NBC. What was that wave for?
Probably waving to the pit crew.
Had his hand up in the car for something. Hank chasing down Jeff Green, trying to pick up second spot.
You know, Hank Parker Jr. almost won this race the first time the NASCAR Busch Series cars came here.
1995.
Yeah.
Look at Hank is on the apron right there, which will help the car turn a little bit.
Now we slip back to the fifth place race. Stacy Compton, Jason Keller. Check that, that'll be sixth place there. 59 and 57 respectively.
Boy, Stacy Compton had a great run in Phoenix last week. Had to start at the rear because he had an unapproved engine change. Fought his way back all the way up to the front. And this week he starts in front. Hopefully he can stay there.
Right now, Joe trying to hang in there in 10th spot, get to a pit stop, see if he can make some things work on that car a little bit better than they are now.
Yeah, he's lost 5 spots since the beginning of the race. Oh, we got a crash.
David Green.
Ooh, heavy damage to that car. And it's rolling. I don't know how.
Well, now you know.
You got cars coming on your outside.
You drivers talked about if you can drive it back in, it doesn't go on your resume as a crash.
Killed the back of it, guys. 92.
That's a long walk.
Or imagine that.
So the 92 car got in the back of him.
I think that's Rick Hendrick we're trying to see there through the traffic on pit road.
It's going to be a tough one to fix. Below the white line. NASCAR says below the white line.
Yeah, that's going to be real tough to fix.
I don't think it's worth even fooling with. It looks pretty bad.
So David Green, the 94 champion, involved in the first accident of the day.
No, I don't think the 92 car got in the back of him.
No.
He was just on the inside of him, lost the air, had no air to lean against, because when you go in the corner, you have that whole side of the car to lean against. It isn't there.
Yeah, but if he drove on the apron, that may have aggravated a little bit as well. You know, what you're saying with the air also. So two things happened there at once.
And maybe David felt like he got pinched a little bit.
That obviously that's what he thinks. Yeah.
Here it is in real time.
I think he did get moved down on the apron, but I think a combined of the air off the spoiler and maybe hitting the apron loosened him up.
All right, 21 laps, and here they all come down pit road.
How many sets of tires do they get today?
Three sets. Everybody's pitting except Hank Parker Jr. He's going to stay out and take the lead. Dave?
And Joe Nemechek will get his favorite pit stall. It's about halfway down, right across from the start and finish line, which is where he hopes he crosses first today. Car making his way in right now. They will change four. They're going to go down to the track bar. The track bar, actually, because the car was tight. And he's making that adjustment now. Joe's going to get four full of fuel and send him back out.
Right side service already complete on Jason Keller's Ford. They're going around the left side. The car was tight on entry. Loose up off. They made a wedge adjustment. A little bit of trouble on the left rear. Possible lug nut fell off, Marty.
Leader Bobby Hamilton Jr., Matt, already gone. He said the car excellent, don't touch it. So they said, okay, we'll just put fuel in it. That's all they did. No tires for the leader Bobby Hamilton.
Get set to go back racing. Number of teams with a strategy play here under this caution flag pit stop.
Hey, Mike, this is Wally. Looks like your car was a little bit of a handful at first, and then it got better. You took two tires. What are you thinking?
Well, I watched the truck race yesterday, and the cat that won it got two tires, and he said it's the best his truck was all day. I see him back there in that Dr. Pepper car, so he must feel the same way today. I just like two tires with 20 laps into the race. We really handled bad the first few laps. Got a little bit better there after we'd run a few. We'll just have to see what these tires do for us and the adjustment that the Dream Team put on me here. See how that goes.
Okay, we'll be watching too.
Michael Waltrip off pit road in 5th position after just getting the two tires. Johnny Sauter also got just two tires in the 2 car. He's behind Michael in 6th. Fuel only for Hamilton Jr. He lines up 4th, and the first 3, Parker Jr., Blaney, and Martin Truex, did not stop, and they take the top 3 spots.
As good as Hank Parker's car was handling there, I think that's a good move on their part. Now, if my car wasn't handling, I probably should have come in for tires, but I think that's a good move on Hank's part.
3rd place quickly changing hands. Truex not with the good start, the young New Jersey driver. And Michael Waltrip going to try and take advantage of Hamilton Jr.
Easy, Mikey. Car got a little bit sideways on him. Those new tires on the right are going to take a couple laps to get some heat in them.
And the winner of last week, Scott Wimmer, evidently made 2 pit stops on that caution flag, because with 1 to go, he came down pit road. Matt, what was going on down there?
Benny, they decided to pit again because they still had damage to the right front valence after contact with Bobby Hamilton Jr. They were held on pit road because they leaped over the wall to service the car too soon. They lost a lot of track position on that last stop.
Man. By now, Scott Wimmer's back in 33rd position.
Tough break there for the driver who's won 3 of the last 7 races on the NASCAR Busch Series. There he is, trying to pick his way back up through the traffic. Moving by Scott Riggs in the 10. So that gets him 32nd place.
Really long way to go.
Yeah, long way to go.
It can be done.
And we can see that the 10 car, Scott Riggs, is struggling so badly. I'll tell you what, here's a guy that's running pretty doggone good, that 31 car, Dave Blaney.
Yeah, both these guys are running in a 3770s, did not change tires. A lot of guys behind them, Benny, that changed tires are running about a half a second slower.
I mean, Blaney started back in 12th and had worked his way up to the top 5 before the caution flag came out. Marty, looks like this 31 car is really good.
He is moving, BP. They're very happy with the race car. Of course, that played into their decision of not making a pit stop. One potential problem for Dave Blaney, maybe a brake problem. He said the pedal feels really soft to him. A lot of times that means there's air in the line somewhere, maybe water in the line, but he has a very soft brake pedal, and you need all the brakes you can have here at Homestead.
Yeah, or he's boiling the fluid in the calipers, which already kind of unusual this early. But hey, if those things are, if he's using a little bit more braking, it doesn't look like they've got any brake ducts, you know, pulling air from the nose anyway. So maybe they're just getting warm.
That's right. There's no air going through the nose of the car back to cool the brakes. And we heard in happy hour today for the NASCAR Winston Cup talking about drilling holes in the front bumper to cool those brakes. If they're doing it over on the Cup side, these guys probably need to do it as well. Boy, Biffle just cannot get off the corner very well at all. That 92 car able to run the outside, gets momentum, and outruns the 60 car down the straightaway. I thought Michael Waltrip was going to pass Hank Parker Jr. just a moment ago. He had a great run on him.
But didn't get by.
On a conference call with the media on Wednesday, some guy from the Hartford newspaper said, I can't believe you didn't think the Bull Riders would be coming to Connecticut.
Yeah.
I just don't. Bulls and Connecticut, it doesn't go together. Texas and Bulls. Oklahoma.
New
The
leaders.
Booth. Huh?
The Booth and Bulls.
Yeah, the Booth and Bulls. Yeah, we all go together.
Michael Waltrip out in front.
He might check out on these boys.
Talking to his crew chief Bobby Kennedy this morning, they really think they've got a great car for this race. You know, Wally, we spend all this money putting all these cameras and microphones in your car last week at Phoenix. You couldn't get us the lead. We put all of your cameras and microphones in Michael's car this week, and he's taken us to the front.
He's got talent. I don't.
But let me tell you something. Tell him this. He's also led every race he's been in, Busch race, for about the last 5 or 6.
Yeah, but see the aforementioned point, I guess.
I'm not going to let you. I'm going to get. If anybody's going to get me, it's going to be me.
Okay. What's our Stacker 2 race fact this week?
Winston Cup regulars have won 6 of the 7 Busch races at Homestead.
And that goes back to before they had Winston Cup races here. They started running the NASCAR Busch Series here in 1995. Dale Jarrett won that race. It used to be held on an open weekend on the Winston Cup calendar.
So who was the one
Allow me to think about that for just a second.
He said Kevin LePage.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, here's Biffle trying it again. Can he get the run? Can he get the run? Maybe. Maybe. He may have position going down in the corner. I'll tell you what, that 92 car hangs pretty doggone tough on the outside.
Randy LaJoie in the 7 drawing in on this race.
He's not going to draw in too close just yet.
Oh, Biffle finally cleared him off the corner.
Hank Parker Jr. slipping back. Ron Hornaday through for second. Jeff Green through. Jason Keller through. Jimmy Spencer coming up to the inside.
Jimmy Spencer had to put all 4 on the apron there.
Now we're starting to see the older tires show up, I believe.
You know, one thing Kurt was mentioning about how it's really like a cheese grater down there. One thing you got to be careful of now, if you're only going to change right side tires, you don't want to abuse those left sides. Because if you're down there doing that damage to your left side tires, it may hurt you down the road.
Here comes Biffle for the lead.
Oh, gets a little loose. But, you know, I think Biffle has a little showmanship, don't you think? Doing it down the front straightaway in front of all the fans. And
oh, Michael.
He's a classy guy. He's got nothing to lose. You may as well go.
May as well go. That's right. Got the championship well in hand.
For me, 4 tires in Winston Cup is usually the optimum goal every time you pit. So Wally's exactly right. He does have the chance of abusing those left side tires, and so I don't know their format right now. I haven't been scanning them, but that could come into play later.
Well, you know, Michael changed 2 that pit stop, and Biffle changed 4. So it looks like right now, Kurt, that maybe 4 tires is the way to go.
It surely does. I don't know how long they've been on this run, And 2 tires obviously will give you track position, but 4 tires, hands down, will beat you over 65 laps. And I think that's what their fuel window is.
Tell you what we're going to see now. If we see a long green flag run in this race like we have now, they're going to run this full fuel load, so they're all going to get 4 tires when they come in because they're going to take a full tank of fuel. If they run another full fuel load, they'll need less than that for the sprint to the finish. And if we stay green again, then we'll see a lot of 2-tire stops on the final run here.
Look at that, Alan Bestwick, the crew chief. Those are pretty good numbers. He's
Like
gone
that?
on to this game.
Hey. I got it all from Wally.
No, I think somebody else gave him that information.
Hey, Slav handed him a note.
Here's what Slav thinks.
I tell you, I get no respect. Oh, wait a minute. Somebody's used that line already.
That's pretty good living using that line, too, you know.
Yes, he has. Greg Biffle, the 5th different driver to lead this race. Biffle was last on to pit road at lap 22. And so we ought to see him on the pit road another maybe 10 laps or so. What do you think, Marty?
They're talking about 20 laps, Alan. How about that? Lap 100 is the number they're shooting for. Jeff Green on the racetrack, just behind him a little bit. They're talking about lap 85, so Biffle's bunch can go pretty far to lap 100.
Selton Sawyer in the 37 car. He's trying to put a lap on here.
Elton Sawyer, no one has been named to drive that 37 car next year. The sponsor, Timberwolf, will be back, but so far they don't have a driver, and he would love to be the man. Talking about Elton Sawyer, but decision has not been made.
Biffle has moved away from Michael Waltrip by a full second now. And remember Dave Blaney earlier got out of sequence on his pit stops and fell way back in traffic. Here he comes.
The good news is he's up to 8th spot. But here's the bad news, Marty. He's 9 seconds behind Biffle.
And here's the worst news, BP. That brake problem we talked about is getting worse. It's getting worse the longer they run. The brakes are getting softer, and you just can't have that here at a flat racetrack like Homestead. So they've got a great chassis. The car is excellent, but it just has no brake feel, and you really need that.
Dave Blaney driving for the Ted Marsh operated team out of Connecticut. Make a number of limited Busch Series starts throughout the season. Steve Park drove that car before. Johnny Benson has driven it in the past.
Oh, hang on, Jimmy.
And Blaney has given that car a terrific ride today.
Working on Spencer for 7th place here.
Well, here's Biffle points racing.
Yes, we've already determined that he's the Busch Series champion for 2002, so he decided he tried to win the race last week at Phoenix.
Yeah.
Came up 15 laps short.
Napa Field summary on the day. Caution flags, only a couple of them. David Green involved in a crash at lap 22. Joe Buford spun at lap 32. Both drivers are fine. Leaders today, Michael Waltrip for 40 laps, Greg Biffle for 19, Hamilton Jr. for 19, Parker Jr. for 18, Blaney, Jeff Green, Keller, Tim Sauter, all for a handful apiece. Cars out of the race, Dana White, David Green, David Ruderman. Ruderman out with an engine problem early.
Hermie Sadler in the 43 car, Herb Records car, going a lap down to Greg Biffle.
That's actually his 2nd lap down, BP.
Is it?
35th place for him. How about that 23 car?
Man. Scott Wimmer in that 23 has been so fast. Uh-oh. Off the pace.
Todd Bodine had gotten word from pit road during that last commercial break that they thought they'd dropped a valve or something. We're not running on all 8 cylinders. I think that has multiplied itself now.
That's worse than that now.
Okay. Yeah, and it's a shame, guys, too, because that backup car actually is one that led at Nashville earlier this year, pitted under green, and got put a lap down. So they were pretty happy in their backup situation, but they talked to me and said it's definitely motor, and that's not looking good.
And this is one of the teams that has no idea whether they'll be at Daytona in February or not for the start of the 2003 season. Sponsorship situation unsettled for that 92 car. A lot of guys in this field in that same situation. Race for the lead shaping up in the Ford 300 at the Homestead Miami Speedway. 63 laps to go at the line. Jason Keller all over the back bumper of Greg Biffle.
something's up with this 60 car. Has to be, because he's lost a second or so in speed in the last 3 or 4 laps.
And for the first time all day, Jason Keller will lead this race under green.
Yeah, that car's loose. Oh, yeah. Big time loose. The left rear, maybe?
Actually, check that. Second time today for Keller, because
Marty?
he led during the green flag pit stops.
Help us out here, Marty. Boy, he is loose. He's got to have a tire going down. Marty.
Yeah, he thinks he does have a flat tire, Wally, and he just came on the radio and said that. He wanted to know all the changes they made on that stop, and Randy Goss said all we did was add a pound to the right rear tire. He does think he has a tire going down. Randy Goss told the crew, just hold on for a minute. Let's ride it out and see if it's maybe an air pressure situation. Maybe, you know, there's a change in pressure, maybe moisture on the racetrack, something. They're trying to grasp it, whatever it could be, but the car has definitely changed for Greg Biffle, and he continues to radio to his team, and he says he's going to come next lap, and they're going to be ready for 4 tires on the next lap, says Greg Biffle.
Trying to get a look here, BP. It's hard to see from here. Maybe the left rear is a little bit low, but 21 car's another car that looks like Jeff Green just looks like he's been struggling in the center of the corner here since this restart. And here's Ashton Lewis.
Man, what a great drive for this 46 team.
Yeah.
Here's a team that has struggled all season long. Young driver Ashton Lewis out of Chesapeake, Virginia, 30-year-old. Had 12 races this season. They have failed to finish. 12, count them, league leading. Yet the last couple of weeks, they've come on with some great runs. Finished 9th in Atlanta. Had a good run at Phoenix last week with an 8th place finish.
Yeah, I raced with him a little bit there. He did a really good job.
And great to see for that team that he and his brother basically operate. Family-owned team there for Ashton Lewis.
Is that Nemechek under green there? Yeah.
Here comes the 87 back into the picture. Remember, Nemechek faded a little bit in the early laps. Really, I think it's been a track position game for him since then. He just hasn't had it.
Oh, easy.
Oh, and Jimmy Spencer, while the 21 car was on the apron, just decided to try to drive up on the outside.
By the way, Kevin Grubb treated and released from the Yidfield Medical Center. He's fine, though no doubt very disappointed. So Jimmy Spencer going to pick up a spot from that 21 car, and Jeff Green's slide backwards continues. That'll put him back to 7th.
Jeff's been on the apron, off the apron. He's been all over the place and can't get that car to stick.
And here comes the 23 of Scott Wimmer back into the picture. .49 laps to go. Let's go through the field. How about the leader, Matt?
Jason Keller holding station at the point. He hasn't won in over 5 months, trying to win his season's 5th win. If he doesn't get a caution, it may not come today. Steve Addington, the crew chief, says they are at least 2 laps shy, Dave.
Matt, the 99, pitted on lap 114 to correct left fender damage and correct a loose-off condition with wedge. They cannot make it on fuel. A couple of laps short, according to crew chief Bobby Kennedy. The 87 of Joe Nemechek also pitted on lap 114. They considered pitting on lap 125, but they still would have been short, according to the crew. Yes, the Atlanta race where they ran out of fuel definitely played into their decision-making. Matt?
Dave, Scott Wimmer bouncing back, trying for his 4th career win. I talked to his crew chief, Booty Barker. Before that last caution, they were about 5 or 6 laps shy. He says now it's too close. They are just going to roll the dice. They're going for it. He's not stopping. If they do get a caution that they have to pit, Tommy Hubert from the Caterpillar team has come in to replace Donnie Tarantino. Meanwhile, the 46th of Ashton Lewis Jr., looking for his 1st career win, runs in 5th. They took on 2 tires for track position in their last stop. They are going to roll the dice and go the distance, says his brother, his crew chief, Charlie Lewis. Meanwhile, Spencer, there's no way they can go the distance, says his crew chief, Mark Reno, via Johnny Allen, the car chief. They are at least 10 laps shy. Marty?
Jeff Green running in 7th right now. They are about 12 laps short, Matt. He said they need 5 gallons of fuel when they do come down pit road. The car wicked loose right now for Jeff. They think this tire, the set of tires they have, not matching up quite as well as the early ones were. Bobby Hamilton Jr. has come back to life. The car was very good earlier on, then he got very loose. Now the car has come back to him, made his way back up to the 8th position. They too are just a little bit short, but they may gamble, Dave.
Randy LaJoie thought he had a broken front shock earlier. The car was so tight. It was not that condition. They made an air pressure adjustment on lap 114. Unfortunately, they cannot make it to the end of the race on fuel. They will be 10 to 15 13 laps short. Matt, back to you.
Jack Sprague wrapping up a very successful career at Hendrick Motorsports today here in Homestead. Currently in the 10th position. They cannot make it to the finish without stopping. They will have to stop and top off.
So there's your top 10, and most of them can't make it. I heard one there say we're going to go for it. They didn't say whether they could make it or not. They're just going to go for it.
And a lot of it's going to have to do with not just how quick the pit stop is, but getting on and off pit lane could be a big factor here.
And not getting caught exceeding that speed. 45-mile-per-hour speed limit on pit road.
Took you through the top 10. There are 17 cars on the lead lap. Behind Jack Sprague, you've got Brian Vickers in 11th, Casey Mears in 12th, Ron Hornaday 13th, Stacy Compton 14th, solid run for Shane Meal in 15th, then Hank Parker Jr., the early leader, in 16th, and Jamie McMurray tagging out the field in 17th. There's the 18th place car. First one a lap down, Marty.
Well, I just talked to Randy Goss, the crew chief. He said that solved all their problems, changing those right side tires. Good in the fact that they were going to have to stop anyway because they too were short on fuel, and also good because a lot of the cars in front of them will have to stop as well. But there's also so much track position now, back in 18th position, but the car is still excellent.
It might work out for them. They'll get a decent finish out of it. Might not be enough to win the race, but they'll get a decent finish if it stays green to the checkers.
Well, they'll pick up some spots because the right side tires and new tires has helped the car to run a little bit faster, and all the competition are going to have to stop and go down pit road as well. And they just changed right side, so it wasn't an extended stop.
Right. Yeah.
Second place here, Joe Nemechek on the move. He's got it from Michael Waltrip. And here comes Scott Wimmer into the picture.
Now that's bad news for the competition.
Man,
That 23 is fast.
We watched this car earlier. One of the best cars I can see through the center of the corner. Makes up a lot of time right in the middle on these guys.
Just jumps to the inside of Michael Waltrip.
That's how Tony Stewart's car has been here the last couple of years. He can stay down on the bottom of that racetrack and hook it through the center, and man.
So Scott Wimmer to third, Michael Waltrip back to fourth.
And Booty Barker just gave the call to Scott Wimmer. Next time, hit pit road for fuel. They're going to top him off. They only need a few seconds. Here he comes down pit road, hoping to hold on because they know the 57's probably going to pit. The 46 will pit at lap 190. They're hoping that this cycles out, that they're going to be back in the lead. The team up on the wall. Scott Weston, the truck driver, the most important person now as he tries just to get the fuel filler in and just to get enough fuel in, not lose too much time so they do not lose this race. They're motioning him in. Wimmer comes to a stop. Perfect stop. Weston puts it up in there, gets the fuel, and he's gone.
4,300, 4,300. Watch your speed, watch your speed.
The critical thing here, VP, is to watch the 23 and
60.
Greg Biffle.
Where is Biffle?
Where they come up on the racetrack relative to each other.
Okay, Biffle is just going down in turn one. There he is.
Wimmer's on the inside pit road warm-up lane, and Wimmer's going to get out first.
He is?
Yes.
Wimmer's on the back stretch ahead of Biffle. Biffle was trying hard.
Yes, he was. May have cost him a little bit of time there.
Well, right now he's got the 47 car of Shane Meal that has fresher tires that just changed right sides. He's faster than Greg Biffle.
So now when does Jason Keller stop? And does he? Other lead cars coming in. Jeff Green, Ashton Lewis topping off the fuel, but you see Jason Keller off turn 4. Another lap under the green. Boy, getting out ahead of the 60 was huge for Wimmer. That might have been the race.
Could have been. 13 more laps this 57 car has to run on the fuel in the tank if he's going to win.
And that roll off, be easy on it.
Yeah.
Are they stretching it?
Be real easy on it.
And now you can, Benny. You know, your question was earlier, can you back off? Well, if you got a 24-second lead, yeah, now you can be a little bit easier on that throttle and try to save fuel. Hard to do it when you've got a guy in your mirror.
Yeah.
Roll off in there easy, roll off easy.
So the game plan has apparently changed for the 57 team now that everybody else is pitted.
But we know that Casey Mears, Hank Parker Jr. can probably make it.
Because they stopped.
They stopped. And they can probably make it because Hank Parker Jr. at Pikes Peak ran 115 laps on that 1-mile racetrack.
And the biggest thing is Biffle's got a lot of traffic to fight through right now.
Hank Parker Jr. stopped at lap 122. But I don't see Casey Mears having stopped since 114.
Well, they told me they could have run 125 miles at Pikes Peak. Talking about those two Dodges.
That's your margin. Easy in, easy out.
From Wessel Motorsports, so we'll see.
So Jason Keller continues to try and make it go to the finish. 9 laps to go now here at Homestead. What a season it's been for Jason Keller. Career best 4 victories in this 2002 season. Picked up wins at Rockingham, Talladega, Richmond, and Nazareth. He'll lose out on the championship because he had one more race than Greg Biffle that he had a poor finish. What about it, Matt?
Steve Addington down here in the 57 pit. The big money question. Can you go or will you have to come for fuel?
We're here to win this race. We brought this out brand new Albertsons Ford down here this weekend. Go for it. I mean, we don't have anything to lose. I'd just like to thank all the guys back in the fab shop. They built one heck of a race car right here. It's been good all day. And hell, it's exciting, ain't it?
It certainly is. They're going for that big money deposit slip, Benny.
Oh, he's grinning ear to ear.
Here comes Casey Mears to pit road. 66 car was up to second place. And now he's going to have to stop. It'll put Hank Parker Jr. to second, Scott Wimmer to third, but they're 25 seconds behind Jason Keller.
You can half throttle it. Half throttle, buddy.
I think that was Jason Keller, probably radio.
All right, 66 heads back out. Now we check on the race for second place.
And Wimmer has caught the 36 car of Hank Parker Jr. Marty?
If Jason Keller runs out of gas, BP, and if Scott Wimmer does not pass him, Hank Parker's team thinks they can make it all the way. Their calculations show they are 0.18 laps short. They're going to go for it. They've won it on fuel mileage before.
I don't think they can keep the 23 car behind them. No one else has been able to do it.
Yeah.
And Wimmer knows he's got to get by him. This is his only shot.
Yeah. Wimmer has worked his way back up to third spot. Greg Biffle back up to fourth.
Put me inside Jason Keller's car. You've got a 23-second lead, 5 laps to go. You know you need to save a couple laps of fuel. Can you save that much?
Well, yeah, I think you can when you have that kind of a lead, because you can't roll off the throttle and be real easy with that throttle. You've got 6 laps to go right now. Yes, he can save some fuel. Will it be enough? I don't know.
That was fourth place that just changed hands. Nemechek by Greg Biffle. And there's that 57 car.
Last lap time, 40 seconds.
Yeah. I love the grin on Steve Addington's face. Isn't this exciting?
Yeah.
Yes, it is. A lot of drama here.
Now, Jason's got one eye glued to that fuel pressure gauge on that dash right now.
Because as soon as it starts fluctuating, that means it is picking up air, not fuel.
Wonder if Jason's got his lucky T-shirt on that his children made him.
I would imagine he does. 3.5 laps to go. Still a long, long ways to go for Jason Keller.
Half throttle for me. Half throttle.
I mean, he's only given up a couple. He's given up about 7 seconds of his lead. And he's got 18 still to give. And 3 more laps when he comes back around.
He's hardly breathing right now. He's holding his breath.
Folks, let me tell you that Scott Wimmer has not been able to catch and pass. He's caught Hank Parker Jr., but he has not been able to pass him.
There's the race for second. Going on 18.9 seconds behind leader Jason Keller. Passing Elton Sawyer's car, 37 machine. Running back in 21st place. Couple of laps down to the race leader.
Look at that. All 4 tires right underneath that yellow line.
Oh, he's taking a look. Try to get him loose off of 2 here.
Slow car they just went by in the back stretches. Ron Young in the 70 car. He should get back around to the pit lane and not slow this race before its finish. This is Scott Wimmer working on Hank Parker Jr. for second. Might have the run this time. 2 to go. Oh!
And guess what? The 57 car, I thought he had stopped off turn 2. Looked like he was out of gas. Maybe he slowed down that much. All the cars are going. It looked like he's still moving.
Got 1 car out of gas. Mark Green is on the apron heading into turn 1.
He's out of fuel.
Jason Keller's out of gas.
He has to be.
He's out of gas coming to the white flag. Matt?
Jason Keller is out of gas. The car is sputtering. All the guys are on the wall. The heartbreak, you can just see it on their faces. Greg Pollock's the owner, dejected behind the pit box. They thought they were going to hold on for another lap and win their first race victory since back in May at Nazareth.
Watch for the 23 car, the orange flames on the hood and fenders. He'll be coming by to the outside. There he is. There's your pass for the win. Scott Wimmer takes the lead on the last lap. We got a car blowing up into turn 1. Jamie McMurray.
Caution is out, guys. Caution is out.
Has lost the engine in the 27 car. The caution flag is out. The fuel stop for Scott Wimmer is going to turn out to pay off. Here he comes to the checkered flag. His 4th win in the last 8 races of this season. Scott Wimmer has taken the Ford 300 at Homestead.
Wow.
I told you there was going to be some drama there.
Amazing. Poor Jason Keller.
Greg Biffle will wrap up his championship season with a 4th place finish. And you know that 23 car is going to be hard to handle when it comes time to settle this championship in 2003.
Oh, it really is.
Well, we know he had nothing to lose, Matt, but this can't be a very pleasant thing for the 57 team. It's got to be great for the 23 guys.
Alan, these guys are all high-fiving, shaking Booty's hand. Booty, Scott Weston only needed a few seconds of gas to get in the car. It was close.
Yeah, we didn't get but 4 gallons in. Dwayne said we're going to run out on the burnout, so either way, it doesn't make any difference. We beat them.
This team has shown so much promise for next year, the way you guys have won races in the last month.
Yeah, I mean, Scott's a great driver, and our team has come together well. I mean, we're doing the best we can, and we're winning races.
Wait till next year. This team, championship contender.
14 to go. There was the stop. Got him the gas to make it to the finish.
See, Booty, I tell you what. And look at Biffle. Oh, that's right. He's the champ.
Yeah. Trophy presentation, the formal trophy presentation to Biffle coming up. So we've got dueling burnouts on the front stretch. Wimmer somewhere back in that cloud of smoke. Matt?
And Alan, would you believe it? It is starting to rain.
Oh, really?
Man.
There's Wimmer's car through the cloud of smoke. And I think he's out of gas. I think Wimmer's out of gas. Just like Booty Barker said. He'd run out of gas during the burnout. That's great. Race winner, series champion.
200 laps completed, but on or about lap 198, Jason Keller noticed his fuel gauge starting to show signs of giving up. Jason, tell us about your decision to stay out and not to come in and top off.
Well, we came to Homestead to win the race, and we were close. On long runs, the 23 car was better than we were. We were a little bit better on short runs, but we didn't come here to run second. We told everybody that this week, and we proved it. It just fell a lap short. You know, I came and took the white flag, but we couldn't get the win of championship, and we couldn't finish third, so we had nothing to lose. And it's probably the entire Albertsons team. It's a brand new car, and like to say hi to Deb and the kids back home. You know, we had nothing to lose, so we gambled.
After chasing for the championship for so long and not getting it, you really wanted to come away with a win, didn't you?
We did. I wanted to be on the front straightaway today with Greg Biffle celebrating a win, but it didn't work, and now it's raining, so it could have rained 10 minutes ago, but we just need to fight hard going into next year and do our best.
All right, let's go up to Barney Snyder.
26-year-old Wisconsin native Scott Wimmer in victory lane again for the 4th time in 8 races. He came to Bill Davis Racing as a hot shoe from the ASA Series, and he has been so impressive here in the second half of the 2002 season. Awesome is the only way to describe how Scott Wimmer has been in the last few weeks. Wow, if you could capsulize this second half of the season, Scott, and run it every year, I think you'd be in good shape.
Yeah, what an awesome end of the year. I got to thank Bill Davis Racing. Yeah, we don't have a sponsor, but we got a lot of people that help this team out. Winnebago, Gold Eyewear, Simpson Race Products, Remington, Naturally Fresh Water. Everybody helps us out a bunch, but I'm real proud of these guys. Thank the Lord for a good, safe day. Keeping the rain off us, too.
An up and down day on pit road for your guys. One time they put you back in the field, but they did it when it counted, got you on the track with the right amount of fuel.
Yeah, that last pit stop we just had, we had a lug nut hanger or something like that, but you know, these guys, they rip them off every week, and I'm real proud to be with this team, and just thankful we got the gas in there when we needed it. It was close.
Still a championship coming on?
Oh, hopefully. You know, we're going to try for it. Bill Davis is quite a car owner. I'd sure love to give him a championship.
There you go. For the 4th time in 8 races, Scott Wimmer in victory lane.
Here's how they ran today in the Ford 300 at the Homestead Miami Speedway. They put some gasoline in Greg Biffle's car, and he's coming back around for the champions presentation, which you'll see in just a few moments. Scott Wimmer, 4th win in the last 8 races.
Biffle came back, my flat tire for 4th. Rende LaJoy finished in 6th.
And Jason Keller wound up 15th.
Shane Meal, first car a lap down. The Sauter boys, 18th and 19th.
Mike McLaughlin ends his run with Joe Gibbs in 20th place.
And there's a name you'll hear some more in the future. Martin Truex Jr., 23rd.
Steve Grissom, 31st today, former series champion. A lot of drivers failed to finish. 10 cars not running at the checkered flag, including Todd Bodine and David Green. Involved in an accident, though they retired for separate reasons. Green as a result of the wreck, and Bodine as a result of engine problems. Championship standings, none of the top 7 positions changed hands on the final day. The gap ends up at 264 between Biffle and Jason Keller at season's end. They've brought the stage out to the start-finish line here at the Homestead Miami Speedway, where the official championship presentation is about to be made to Greg Biffle and the Roush Racing Team for their crown in 2002. A season that started 10 months ago in Daytona Beach, Florida, wound through 6,546 laps of racing at 25 different tracks. At the end, Greg Biffle and the Roush Racing Team are the best. They are the NASCAR Busch Series champions for 2002.